The Chicago Bears lose in a heartbreaker. A Hail Mary 55-yarder to Jaden Daniels. You're watching another episode of Bears News Network. I'm your host, Mike Anderson, where we talk Chicago Bears sports like Chicagoans do. The number one place for prizes and tickets. So if you're a Chicago Bears fan, hit that subscribe button and join the Bears News Network family. We appreciate all the love and support. We're going to get into the Chicago Bears heartbreaking loss to the Washington Commanders. Man, I know for all us Bears fans and Bears fans watching around the world, it was hard to see. But man, we're going to get into that and take away some positives and some negatives from the loss and see what direction this football team is heading in now. So we're going to get into all that and more right here on Bears News Network. Welcome back to another episode of Bears News Network. Like I said, I'm your host, Mike Anderson. The Chicago Bears lose a heartbreaker 18-15 versus the Washington Commanders, man. But before we get into that, man, we tell everybody, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell icon so you could be notified every time we drop a video, because we give out things over here back to our subscribers. So if you want to know if you won anything, you have to hit the notification bell icon so you could be notified every time that we drop a video. And speaking of prizes and the prizes that we have up over here for Bears News Network, if you not have seen them, this is the picture right here of a couple of prizes that we have over here at Bears News Network. As you can see coming across the screen, blankets, signs, coffee mugs, piggy banks, spatulas, quilts, all kind of things that we got for you guys. So if you guys want any of those things, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button, then share us on social media, then comment under our videos done. Now, one of the things that's not in the video is that's not available that is in the video is the 1985 Chicago Bears championship ring. That is in a $5 raffle. Along comes with a gift bag, a variety of other Chicago Bears memorabilia as well. You can Cash App or PayPal, comment your name with the payment in order to win that raffle. We appreciate the people that have entered that raffle, and we will be giving that out in a couple of weeks. Now, speaking of prize winners, this week's prize winner, big shout out to prize winner Patrick Dillon Sr. Congratulations, Patrick, on supporting us over here at Bears News Network. You followed the directions. You did what we asked you to do, and you was this week's prize winner. If you would like to be this week's prize winner, like I said, all you have to do is follow those directions. Now, man, let's get into this matchup with the Chicago Bears losing to the Washington Commanders. And when you look at the Chicago Bears and their offense, the offense struggled and there was questionable play calling in this matchup. And when you look at the numbers of the matchup and how this came along with the Bears and the offense, and you can see versus the Commanders, Caleb Williams only having 10 out of 24 attempts at throwing the ball, 131 yards, 0 touchdowns, no interceptions. And then you see the running game did get going with DeAndre Swift. He had over 100 rushing yards, 7.2 a carry and a touchdown. But one thing that stood out to me and still stagnant with this play calling a little bit with Shane Waldron is not getting our stars, our playmakers more involved on this offense. When you look at DJ Moore, only 4 targets, 2 receptions, and 27 yards. And then when you look at Cole Kmet, who's been on fire the past couple of weeks before the bye, coming off this bye, he only had 1 target, 1 reception for 14 yards. And when you have these kind of playmakers on the offensive side of the ball, you have to be able to call plays and be able to distribute the ball. Look like the only positive thing that we had going in this game throughout the first 3 quarters, mainly in a half of the ball game, was a little bit of the running game with DeAndre Swift getting it going for us a little bit late. But one thing that stood out to me in this matchup, and we can say what we want to say about our Bears defense, how they maybe didn't hold up late in the game and stopping that fourth down, that Hail Mary, but the Bears defense did keep us in the game, and no doubt about it, because when you look at what the Chicago Bears team did on defense, on the defensive side of the ball, which is stopping the Washington Commanders, which is one of the hottest offensive teams in the league. They was coming into this game being the number one offensive scoring points per game at 31 points per game. But the Chicago Bears held this Washington team to 4 field goals and scoring only 12 points. And that's a huge deal. When you have the number one scoring offense in the league coming into this game and your Chicago Bears able to only hold them for 4 field goals, that's a big deal. And then the Chicago Bears, like I said, with that scoring defense, they are 4th with holding teams at 17 points per game, but they haven't allowed a team to go over 21 points per game in over a long period of time. And then, like I said, with them holding the Washington Commanders without letting them get into the offense, which is Washington, one of the best red zone teams as well in the NFL. The Chicago Bears are the best defensive team in the red zone in the NFL at 36.8%, holding opponents with that completion percentage in 7 out of 19 attempts inside the 20. So the Chicago Bears did their job in this matchup on the defensive side of the ball as far as keeping it a game. And our offense, like we said, it did start out slow, but Caleb Williams did put us on his back, and we was in a position to win this ball game late. Now, that led to a lot of questions as to why the Chicago Bears still failed to win this game. A lot of people can say it's some of the players. A lot of people say it's coaching. But one thing that steady comes up to me is this picture right here that I'm about to pull up on the screen. These are the losses that's starting to add up for Matt Eberflus on this Chicago Bears team. One in particular, I was there personally at the Denver game when we were up by so many points, 28-7, and still found a way to blow that lead was crazy to me. But when you see these games, the first game, like I said, with Denver, we had a 98.1% chance of winning. The second game with Detroit, we had a 98% chance of winning. The third game with Cleveland, we had a 91% chance of winning. And then the last game with Washington, we also had a 96% chance of winning. And we blew all of these games. So when I see that, and I see that we are continuing to have the same problems that we had in the past, that is due to coaching. Now, like I said, there are some positives that needs to come from this loss, and there are negatives. But one thing that stood out to me during this loss as far as positives is that, like I said, we have a franchise quarterback in Caleb Williams. I feel like he brought us back in a position to win. The defense forced 4 field goals other than the Hail Mary touchdown to the number one scoring offense coming into that week last week in the NFL. We bounced back with the position to win. That's the key thing. And then it took a prayer Hail Mary to beat us, the Chicago Bears. It took a Hail Mary to beat us for the number one scoring offense in the NFL coming into this past Sunday. Now the Detroit Lions is the number one. They surpassed Washington this week. But just holding that Washington team to the points that they held them to and only causing 4 field goals, that's most definitely a positive. And like I said, it took a prayer. And then one thing that Cole Kmet mentioned in his press conference, this is not a playoff team, or this is not a playoff game per se, or a divisional game. So, yes, we would have liked to win it, but it's not a divisional game and it's not a playoff game. So the importance of it is still important, but not so much as a high dynamic of being important, whether it was a divisional game or a playoff game. Now, the negative that you could take away from it, like I said, that we had a 96% chance of winning that game in the fourth quarter, and it did not happen. That's the fourth game now that we didn't had a 90% chance of winning in the fourth quarter under Matt Eberflus that we have failed to win. Another thing, the Chicago Bears haven't won a road game since week 5, 2023 against, you know who? The Washington Commanders last year. That's the Chicago Bears' last road win. Their last road Sunday game win will be in 2022. So that's just mind-boggling to me. But another thing that stood out to me is the coaching with the play calling that was negative for me. Shane Waldron deciding to give it to Doug Kramer on the 1 yard line and bringing in Roschon Johnson. I don't understand that. Also, the players not being locked in. Let's not talk about my boy, Tyrique Stevenson. I love me some Tyrique Stevenson, but you're not off the hook, Tyrique. What you did was not being locked in and not being aware. And you know what? Like Cole Kmet said, it came back and bit you in the butt. And then players speaking on the coaching. Certain plays, Matt Eberflus on that, Jaden Daniels, before he threw the long Hail Mary pass, he completed a 13-yard pass. And how the Washington head coach said that was critical in order for him to get that Hail Mary pass down, and how Matt Eberflus just decided to have back off coverage and let them to have that completion instead of to cover the sidelines to continue to run down the clock. So just a lot of questionable things that happen in this ball game. Now, I want to hear from you guys because I know you guys have you guys' opinions, but who is the biggest issue with the Bears? Is it coaching? That's what I want to know. Is coaching the biggest issue with the Chicago Bears? I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Let me know right underneath the video. And then, like I said, with players voicing their opinions on the coaches, just a few quotes from a couple of players, some of your captains on the team, when you see what TJ Edwards said. TJ Edwards said, the sky is not falling. It's not the last game of the season. I've lost the Super Bowl before. It happens. We got time left in the season, and we got the guys in the building to do it. Now, if you want to hear what DJ Moore said about the play calling on the Doug Kramer fumble, he said, I don't know the reason behind the play call. It's been up for a few weeks, but I didn't think we were actually going to get it called in a game like this. Let's see what Cole Kmet had to say. He said, I think it's a really good lesson for everyone to learn from in terms of how to respect the game. He said, there are moments there where maybe some guys lay off here and there, and there are those type of things that can happen when you do that for just a split second. It doesn't always come to bite you in the butt, but when it does, it hurts. That's the unfortunate, and I would also say beauty of this game. If you disrespect it, it'll come to haunt you. So players are voicing their opinion about coaches making certain decisions, about players doing certain things. I want to know who is to blame for the loss, man. A lot of people say it's the players. Some people say it's the coaching. I want to hear personally from you guys. Who do you guys blame for this loss? Let me know your thoughts right underneath the video. Like we said, man, if you're a Chicago Bears fan, hit that subscribe button. In order to win prizes, you have to hit the subscribe button, share on social media, and hit comment done in order to win a prize. Like I said, we have this week's prize winner. Big shout out to Patrick Dillon Sr. for helping us, man, for most definitely supporting us. And we have your prize. Thank you for supporting us. Now, one thing I looked at some of you guys' comments and what you guys were saying under some of my videos, and I had keys to victory, and this was my keys to victory in order for us to win. And somebody commented and said, yeah, the first key to your victory was to stop the big play, and that's something that they did not do. And yes, it was. Now, my keys to victory, as you can see here, was to stop the big play. Of course, we gave up the 55-yarder. Hail Mary pass, which that cost us the game. Now, we did slow down the running game, but this were the other effects of the game where we did not do other than stop the big play. The offense did not start fast like I thought we should have. And then also Caleb Williams did not get into a rhythm early like I felt that he should have as well. Now, one thing that we did do is run the ball well with DeAndre Swift. He did rush for over 100 yards. And then when we did try to create a rhythm with Caleb, we did go up-tempo offense, and that was later in the game in the fourth quarter. And we see what that resulted in as far as us coming down and having 2 scoring drives to put us in a position to win the game. So when you look at those keys to victory, yeah, of course we didn't do all of them, and what I thought that we needed to do, we didn't do them. But hey, that's how the dice roll. But like I said, you guys have to look at it as this in the lens. It took Washington to beat us a Hail Mary. It took a prayer, and Washington threw up a prayer, and their prayers were answered. So the football gods was on Washington's side. Hey, you got to live with the results, man. And now we're moving on to Arizona next week. So, like I said, man, let me know you guys' thoughts on how you feel about this win. And, man, let me know. I want to hear from you guys. Another heartbreaker, man, out of Matt Eberflus era. Hopefully there won't be any more, but boy, it's tough right now being a Bears fans. But like me and Cootie always say, bear down, all Bears fans around the world, and be safe. Love.